Hey everybody,
Hi guys,
Mr. and Mrs. Traveler here.
El Cosplay,
Cosplay.
El Cosplay, El Cosplay.
Coming to you with another Tip Tuesday on this beautiful sunny day down here in Florida.
It's beautiful out here. It's about 90 degrees. It's very, very hot.
Muy caliente.
Very muy caliente.
Springtime is coming to those of you up north. I promise it's coming.
Spring has been here since January 20th.
We're so very excited. We're getting ready for the group cruise, so please stand by for all kinds of great videos. I cannot wait. Hot Topics will be live. Sail Away will be live. We'll be doing a lot of live and going on.
There's going to be a lot of live videos this week, so be prepared.
So you guys are going to have so much fun with us, and I wish all of you were coming with us, but this will just be a little incentive for you to come with us next time.
That's right. Also, if you're not following us, make sure you follow us. Click on that notification button so you know when we upload it. We go live on the weekends. We're going to go live a lot this week. And make sure you subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, guys, we're going to try to tackle a topic that is somewhat complex, and there's always so many questions. And we're going to talk today about travel protection and do you need it?
Yes.
It is a complicated subject because there's so many variables on there, and I'm going to start by saying when you get your travel protection, just check with your travel professional or whoever, wherever you're getting the insurance from, just to kind of verify the coverage, because it does get a little mucky there.
Yep.
So anyway, so travel protection, I do think the older I get, the more I realize how important the travel protection really is. And the more we've dealt with things in life, we realize how important the travel protection is. So we're going to go over a couple of different kinds, and by all means, this is not the end-all be-all to the insurance. This is just kind of a broad overview of what they have for the insurance. So I'm going to start by talking kind of like the insurance that Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, and Carnival provide. And for the most part, their coverage is what it does. It's called what's called a cancel for any reason insurance. And there are some stipulations to that, but in a nutshell, this is how it goes. So you have your cruise booked, and you get this insurance through the cruise line, and something medical happens to you after the final pay date, and what that insurance will do is it will refund you the portion that is not refundable by the cruise line.
Wow, that comes in handy.
So let's say your penalty comes up to $500 for your cruise because you had to cancel because you ended up going to the hospital. You'll get that $500 refunded to you. So the insurance might have cost you $160 or whatever. I'm just using that for an example, but you'll get that $500 refunded to you.
That's awesome.
So it's a good coverage.
It is good.
The cancel for any reason portion of it is this. Let's say you get to the day before the cruise and you say, I don't want to go.
Right. Change your mind.
For whatever reason. What the cancel for any reason insurance does with the cruise lines, and again, this is not a blanket statement for all of them. This is kind of a generalized statement. But for Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, this is kind of the norm. What they would do is they'll refund 75% of the cruise fare to you in the form of a future cruise credit.
Okay, so you have to explain what is a future cruise credit. You have to explain for people who don't know.
So let's say, let me take just an even number, and let's say your cruise was $1,000, and you're the day before the cruise, so you're at 100% penalty. If you did not have that insurance, you would lose that $1,000. And remember, we had that guy not too long ago that lost the money, and they didn't give him the cruise points. Remember we were talking about that?
If you're wondering where that video is, click right here to watch it.
So, so what the cancel for any reason insurance would do with the cruise line would give you $750 of that back as a future cruise credit.
Okay.
So you could use it for the cruise line down the road.
At least you don't lose all your money.
Yeah. What it doesn't cover is if you did not book your airline through the cruise line, then that portion of it is not going to be covered.
Really?
Yeah, that's totally separate thing there.
Okay.
Some of the things that it does cover with the cruise line, it'll cover some of your lost luggage coming down. It will cover some certain delays getting to the ship. And most importantly, I think, is that it has medical coverage for you.
That's what's most important. Even if you're traveling with your parents and they're elderly, you want to make sure they're covered.
Yes. So the coverage amounts will vary as well. There's things that vary, and we're going to talk about private insurance next. But the things that vary between those, between the cruise line and maybe the private insurance, may be the amount of the coverage.
Right.
So I have seen some of the coverage on the cruise lines where it's up to like $25,000, what they call repatriation, to get you back home, or if you pass away,
Yep.
somebody passes away while you're on the cruise, to get that person back to their home state. So it has those coverage amounts on there.
God forbid if something happened like that, but you want to make sure you covered just in case, anything can happen.
So private insurance, like for instance, some of the insurance that we have through our company that we offer to people, obviously we're not going to have a future cruise credit because we're a travel agency.
Yes.
So what we have, different levels of insurance. So like a standard insurance policy, ours, for instance, has $50,000 worth of medical coverage on there. So if something were to happen to you, and let me say this, we had a husband and wife, Romando and his wife Luz, were on a cruise on Royal Caribbean not too long ago, and they had the travel insurance. It may have been about $150 for the insurance. I don't recall the total amount, but it was in that general range.
Mm-hmm.
They both got the flu very badly while they were on the ship, really both of them. Mm-hmm. And they had to go to the ship's doctor, and I believe their bill was around $300 a piece.
That's $600
that they had to pay. Well, the travel insurance fully reimbursed them
and
for that.
That's great.
So
I thought that really worked out for them.
So
you never know what can happen.
So I was really glad that they had that and were able to take advantage of it. So the private insurance, standard insurance, you add the cruise on there. We can add the airfare on there. Even if you book the airfare separately and we pull it into your booking, that can be added onto the insurance. So you can add different things onto the insurance. And of course, it will increase your price as you go. But then it'll cover you for things with the airlines, as far as if there's a mechanical delay or an act of God, that kind of thing. And that too is a touchy subject with the airlines. And I know like ours covers you. And some of the other insurance are like this. They'll cover you on the initial flight, but if you have a layover, there's like some stipulations on the layover flight, which is really crazy. So like the first flight, there's very broad coverage, acts of God like snow and all that kind of thing.
Things that's totally out of control.
And the insurance will pay to get you where you need to get to catch up with your trip. It's the layover ones that get kind of tricky, and is very, very narrowly defined. So even if and one of them and I've seen this on posts online before, is that layover flight got canceled because of mechanical reasons, and the insurance didn't cover it, and that is a true fact.
Yeah, it happens all the time where something breaks down on the airplane, they won't cover it.
So that may be a good tip to you to try to get a direct flight if you can.
Yes.
And I think I would worry about that more in the wintertime when you have those kind of things. Well, I don't know, but
catching 3 and 4 flights, anything can happen. You want to make sure you come early.
Yeah, because that connecting flight, especially in the wintertime, could be delayed at another city and it doesn't get there in time. And
yes.
So, very tricky business, the insurance, but they do have the cancel for any reason insurance through private insurance. Of course, it costs more, and typically it has to be purchased either right away or within a very short time frame after you book your trip with your travel agent. And it's just like what it says. It's canceled for any reason. Day before the cruise, you say, you know what, I'm not going. It's refundable. The entire trip, whatever you had covered underneath that dollar amount that you had covered on insurance is covered.
That is a good thing to have.
Yeah. The other piece that is of importance is noting pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
So typically the insurance companies will do a 60-day look back from the time that you book the insurance. And even if you have a pre-existing condition, and this is where you get a little fuzzy here, even if you have a pre-existing condition and you haven't had any symptoms or things like that, or you had a surgery for a pre-existing condition, but you haven't had any issues since the surgery, say you had it a couple years ago, they don't even consider that within the 60-day look back, as long as you haven't had anything within that 60 days right there. They also have other third-party insurance that you can purchase outside of your travel agent, outside of the cruise line. They'll just ask for all your travel information and they'll quote you a price on there. So whether you book your insurance through the cruise line, through your travel agent, or you book a third party yourself, it is very important, if you have any questions about it, to get the pamphlet, call the number for that particular company and get the specifics on there. Talk to them about your situation and figure out whether that insurance is a good fit for you.
If you have any questions about anything, it's best to call. Just in case you're unsure about how much it costs, what's covered, what's not, it's best to call, because you don't want an emergency situation happening and it's too late, or you just decided not to call last minute, something happens. You want to make sure that you are fully aware and understand the policy of the insurance.
So, if you're healthy, wealthy, and wise, and you have every intention of going on that cruise, usually the standard insurance policy is fine for you.
Sure.
Because that'll cover you just in case something happens medically or something like that. The insurance that you get through the cruise line would be a fine fit for you, because even then, if you cancel for any reason, at least you'll get that 75% of your money back regardless of the reason, or 100% if you have a medical reason with the cruise line. With the private insurance, you don't necessarily have that cancel for any reason policy unless you purchase it. So you will still face some penalties there if you just decide you don't want to go and you don't have a cancel for any reason. So weigh out your options carefully before you go.
And make sure it's based on your needs and what you and your family need.
And check the coverage limits.
Yes.
Like I just did one not too long ago today, and we looked at the difference between our insurance policies between us and Carnival. The Carnival one was about $20 or so cheaper than our policy, but the coverage limits were half of what ours were.
Yeah.
So is it worth it to spend the extra $20?
Right. You have to make that decision.
So there's some pros and cons to it. So, again, if you're healthy, wealthy, and wise, or just healthy and wise, or just healthy, whatever, you could go with the Carnival insurance and say, hey, at least I'm covered if I decide I don't want to go, or I got a conflict with work, or something comes up.
Right. I'm
covered either way. I got to cancel for any reason, I get 75% back. I get to use it with Carnival again. Or if it's something medical, I get 100% of the cash value back. So you got a couple different options there, but it is a tricky business, this insurance.
But in order to be sure, you have to question it and just ask questions. And we here as well. That's why we make videos, so we want to make sure you are fully aware. And if you want to book your cruise, make sure you contact us at www.mr-traveler.com. That's why we make the videos, to make sure you stay informed. Our subscribers are very aware of what's going on.
Yes, indeed, everybody. So we're looking forward to bringing you all some great videos while we're on our inaugural group cruise. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun.
First group cruise. It's going to be lit.
It's going to be off the hook.
It is.
And then when we get back, lots of other big things coming. Lots of big things coming. And
one big thing coming for me.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we thank you so much for watching. All right, everybody, as always,
Life short.
Have fun. And on that note, somebody said they missed my goggles routine. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.